I told you about strawberry fields. You know the place where nothing is real. The Beatles, Glass Onion. If I told you that Glass Onion was not just a murder mystery, but a whole other genre additionally hidden in plain sight, what genre would you think it was? Pause the video now to leave your best guesses, and stay tuned for spoilers. All good narratives are, to some extent, meta, that is, self-referential. They write themselves into the text and teach us how to read them. They leave breadcrumbs luring us into their center, where all will be made clear. Sometimes they allude to other works within their genre, a popular board game, for example, to proffer insight into their structural components, their tropes and cliches, their elemental layers. And while Clue is compared and contrasted to the plot, and multiple times critiqued by Detective Benoit Blanc, it is by no means the only clue to which the audience should be paying close attention. As is the case with its predecessor, Knives Out, the film situates the characters in a singular location where the story is set to unravel, a secluded island in Greece, appropriately enough, as it is the custom of ancient Greek theater that an entire play should take place in one setting. The Palace Steps in Sophocles' Oedipus Rex, for example. Once there, we immediately encounter hints into the nature of the story with which we are engaging. Note the nod to Disney's Beauty and the Beast and the mechanical baggage carrier trundling along in the background with their luggage, suggesting that, much like the enchanted castle and its master, the glass onion and its owner are not what they appear. Also note the dong of a distant clock counting down the hours in Automatopoeia, a trope of one genre in particular. Then there's the Ouroboros, Greek for tail devourer, on the wall of the guest room. This serpent swallowing its own tail is commonly understood as a symbol of infinity shared by multiple mythologies. Consider Miles' description of the architecture. It's past, present, and future. It's what came before, where I am now, what I'll leave to the world. It is, of course, ironic that he calls it the full reclamation of everything he's achieved, when reclamation means the process of claiming something back or reasserting a right. Exactly what Andy was attempting to do with the napkin evidencing her intellectual property after Miles stole credit for her idea and bribed his friends to corroborate his claims. But more on his tenuous grasp of English later. The serpent is accompanied by another circular symbol which can be traced to ancient Greece, the omega, the last and 24th letter of the Greek alphabet, and biblically known as simply the end, as in, I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, who is, who was, and who still is to come, Revelation 1:8. The meaning and meter seem to be mirrored in what came before, where I am now, what I'll leave to the world. Let's take a quick moment to recall what Revelation is and what the end refers to in this context. Revelation is apocalyptic literature, full of fantastical predictions, last battles, divine vengeance, a chronicle of the end times. Revelation 19:20 speaks of the false prophet who wrought miracles, by which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. Revelation 13:17 warns that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Miles is the author of his friend's false witness. His patronage is predicated upon their continued cooperation and endorsement of his miracle fuel. They can't reveal him or refuse him without losing the support of a powerful benefactor. He is the source of their social and financial currency. Duke's girlfriend, Whiskey, even wears an insignia of their bondage around her neck, a gift from Miles that is remarked on multiple times. That's nothing to say of the biorhythm monitors that act as the keys to their rooms. And speaking of alphas and omegas, what's the name of the news channel Miles owns, over which Duke blackmails Miles just before his murder? Oh right, Alpha News. There are many more odes to the story's Greek influence, even the choice to spell Clairfuel with a K, but here is one I'd be remiss not to acknowledge. Cassandra and Helen of Homer's Iliad. Cassandra refuses to comply with the god's demands, and the revenging god curses her, ensuring no one will believe her prophecies. Helen's flight to the city of Troy results in its destruction. She last appears in the 24th book of the Iliad. Glass Onion's Cassandra, whose truth Miles poisons everyone against, is the Alpha. Everything begins with her. Her sister Helen, who brings down Miles' stolen empire, is the Omega. By her actions, everything ends. Returning to the topic of Miles' questionable vocabulary, which Blanc remarks on just as the pieces are falling into place. Imbreviate, which Blanc accurately observes is not a real word. It kind of sounds like one, but it's just entirely made up, is part in the veritable minefield of malapropisms and factual errors that constitute Miles' conversation. But unlike the honest idiot that is Birdie, who genuinely believes that sweatshops are where sweatpants are manufactured, Miles is a dishonest one. He's a magician, misdirecting everyone's attention to Birdie's hypnotic spinning skirts while he swaps glasses with Duke. He's a showman who orchestrates an elaborate party and plays along with his seemingly resurrected victim when she unexpectedly arrives on his remote island. He's a plagiarizer who pilfers not only Andy's idea, but Blanc's as well, of putting a loaded gun on the table and turning off the lights. Are we really only critiquing murder mysteries here? Or are we also critiquing something else? From French fairy tales to Greek epics to apocalyptic literature, from shameless borrowings and downright ripoffs to a personal conlang of almost words, to a world of fictitious facts, we can clearly detect the genre behind the genre, hiding in plain sight. The genre where nothing is real. The genre that flourishes in the flames of genius, but burns even brighter in the hackneying hands of fools. Fantasy. But maybe I'm just overly opinionated. Let me know in the comments below.